Today, I'm going to take you through a brief introduction of who we are and what our product does. And I'll show also a small demo just to give it a bit more hands-on feeling. Right, so who are we? We are based in Ghent, here in Belgium. We exist now for about 5 years, and we are very much a product house focusing on what we believe is the best automation and time series analytics platform for IoT. We are, as I said, fully focused on developing the platform. It is not really focused on one particular IoT domain. And as you will see in some of our customer examples, we have customers using it in quite a number of different areas and for a number of different use cases and business cases. So let me give you a small demo of the Waylay product. So I'm going to log in to our demo platform as a developer. So this is the UI that you would see when you log in and you want to basically create business logic or you want to connect devices and data sources to your platform. The first one that I wanted to show is the concept of resources. So resources are basically sources of data that you can use within your business logic. That can be sensors that are actually streaming data to the platform, or it can be sensors that you have to pull. But it can even be, for example, IT systems, like an inventory system that has inventory data that you want to use into your business logic. So for us, it's also a resource. So I have hooked up a number of resources here, but I'm just going to pick one. I have a connected oven connected to our platform. When I go and click that resource, I see a set of metadata available, including the metrics that it sends. So that's basically the data that it sends, who this device belongs to, etc., etc. You can also have a look at the data that is coming in. This is, for example, the data in real time that is being posted to our environment, and you can basically follow that data in real time and troubleshoot it. You can also have a look at what data is in the time series database. So here, for example, I'm going into the ESA, time series analytics module, just to see, okay, what data is coming in. This is, for example, fan rotation speed coming in from the last couple of minutes, can then zoom in and out as you see fit. Okay. This is also the UI through which you are going to be able to create models for anomaly detection and prediction that you can then use within your rules to further basically take action when an anomaly is detected. Once we have data coming into our platform, you're going to use that data to do something. Okay, so in order to express your business logic, you can use the rule designer. But for this use case, I've already created a rule. So let's take the rule for our connected oven. So here we have basically our rule. So I'm now in the rule designer. And here you basically see, let me zoom out here a little bit, a full set of example logic that you can drag and drop onto this canvas to express your business logic. And so here is where the oven data is coming in for the rotation of the fan. And we're basically going to compare it to a threshold. And then, whether it's above or below a certain value, we're going to take action. Okay. So I'm going to focus here right now on the latter part of what happens when, for example, the rotation of the fan is below the expected value. Well, in that case, we're going to do a number of things. We're going to generate alarms within the Waylay platform, but we're also going to take action towards the Salesforce customer care system. So when the speed falls below a certain threshold, we're going to look up the asset in Salesforce and then create a customer care case that this oven needs some maintenance. Okay, so it's a quite simple use case. As I mentioned before, all of these nodes are basically executing cloud functions. Okay, so if you want to know what this node, for example, does, well, you can actually look at the JavaScript code that powers it. And this is basically what this node does. It looks up a particular name, in our case, oven, and it's going to check within Salesforce whether this asset can be found in the Salesforce asset database. Okay, and then it returns a state, found or not found, and raw data, what comes back. So easy to update, easy to change, easy to enhance as you see fit. Okay. So we have a large panel of available nodes that you can drag and drop onto your canvas. So if you don't want to write any Java code or JavaScript code, then you don't really need to. There's quite a large set of soft sensors, gates, actuators available that can do all sorts of things. Okay. So let's now say we've created this template. We can now apply it to a set of devices. And for example, here, if you go to tasks, you can actually see on our platform which tasks are currently running and are basically processing live data from sensors. So let's get back to our oven use case. This is, for example, the task that is currently running and where data is basically flowing in. So here you actually see, for example, the fan rotation speed. It's very nice and very stable. We have temperature values also coming in. And we also have a sensor in the oven that basically checks whether the door is open or not. So if I open the door here, for example, and then you see here the state of these nodes changing live, right? And you can basically evaluate how this logic is going. Okay. So for example, if I focus on the fan rotation speed now, let's say I block something in the oven to reduce the speed. I've actually stopped it here. You basically see really live what is going on with our connected oven. You see it dropping to 0. Now it's back to a normal state. Okay. So if this happens quite often, it's clearly a sign that something is blocking. It could be dust. It could be somebody left a sweater, for example, and that is blocking the fan, and it's potentially a hazardous situation. So as I mentioned, as part of our rule, we're basically going to trigger a case within Salesforce. So if I now go into Salesforce, so here, for example, you see that a case has been created that basically says, hey, it's necessary that somebody comes along to do cleaning. So this is kind of a proactive case that we created on the asset oven, and the description is schedule cleaning for this oven because it's potentially a dangerous situation. And then you can also, from Salesforce, execute a rule back into Waylay if you, for example, want to evaluate the historical data that was received. Okay. Right. So what else is there onto the platform? Well, alarms, as I mentioned. Alarm management is one of the advanced features of our platform. So here you have a complete view of all the alarms that are currently open, their severity, and so forth. You can actually change the status of alarms, active, acknowledged, or cleared. You can do that completely programmatically as well. So here you see, for example, in this case, we are monitoring an asset, a critical asset with low connectivity. Here we're monitoring the signal strength of our a wireless sensor that is connected to this device, and we have basically a rule that generates a recommended action, which is to basically reposition the antenna, for example. Okay. One other nice capability is once you start creating rules, you want to test rules, right? And we have the ability to do simulation testing, where we can, for example, test a template that you created before with for a particular resource, and then send a single measurement into your rule, or even do a template batch run where we, for example, can run the rule against pre-recorded data. One thing before we move on to the Q&A section is to maybe show briefly what our time series analytics can do. So if I take a nice example of a turbine, so this is, for example, the rotation speed of a turbine that is in the field. So obviously, a turbine is supposed to rotate pretty stable around a particular number of rotations per minute. Okay, so with the time series analytics designer, you can basically start building algorithms in a very easy way and instantiate them immediately to be able to use them within rules to take actions. So what you have to do is you basically select your data set that you consider as the normal behavior of your sensor. So this is the data that is coming back from turbine that I consider now as kind of the normal behavior. Okay, it's fluctuating around an average of 600 rotations per minute. But I don't really want to set the sigma squares myself. I just want to let the system figure out what is the best model to kind of model this normal behavior. So I just click auto configure. So the system is going to do some analysis on the data set. It's going to profile the data. Okay, I'm not really interested in seasonality, although it's found some seasonality, but I'm more interested in, hey, I want to apply a fixed model. Let's use that now. So the system is now going to generate a fixed model that will allow some deviations from an average value here. And if I now apply that model against this data set, where clearly you see a large deviation from the normal, it's basically going to tag all of these data points as anomalous. So here we basically calculated all the anomalies across this data set. So let's say I'm now happy with my configuration. I can save that. So rotation Tom, for example, already exists. So rotation Miruna. So I'll save that now. And once it is saved, the system is basically ready to power it in an anomaly sensor. So one of the sensors that you have available here in your library is an anomaly sensor that is now already automatically configured to use the model, the algorithm that we just defined in PSA. Here it says rotation Miruna, and now we can basically assign a particular rule. Let's keep it simple and basically say we're going to assign Twilio SMS whenever this guy moves from into anomaly state. Okay, so if this guy goes from no anomaly to anomaly, well, then I'm basically gonna send a message anomaly detected, and then I can send it to a particular SMS number, right, etc. So you can now instantiate this rule and apply it to a number of different devices. So it's that easy to kind of create these kind of rules. All right, so we touched upon a number of different things. I know I went quite fast, but yeah, the key takeaways that I would like to focus on is that the team here has been quite active within the domain of both IoT and telecommunications for many years. And we know how to build software. We know how to build enterprise software with high availability guarantees. And we know what is really needed in an enterprise context with respect to upgradability, monitorability, and so forth. So we are applying that knowledge now in the IoT domain. And we think we have a platform that has no match in the industry today.